To Daugherty Hall, home of the Oratory Prep basketball team. My name is Mike Mascera, and I'm here with Mr. Coach Daugherty, head coach of the basketball team. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it. Looking forward to getting into all your topics you have laid out.
Got a couple tough questions this year. There's obviously a lot of different stakes. Ready to roll. Team finished 16-10 last year, which was an improvement on the previous season. How do you look to keep building and going in that positive direction?
I think thinking about last year, I think we all were we were happy but not satisfied. I think we could have done a little better down the stretch. So this year, the schedule is not getting any easier. I think it's probably even harder than last year. So what does success mean for us? What are our goals? What does it look like? Obviously, winning a conference is super important. We fell a little short of that last year. So that would be kind of, step number one. And then the Christmas tournament, we have some good opponents in that with Hillsborough. You got an early Delbarton game on there. You got a showcase game December 13th. So we're going to be thrown right into the fire, and I think for us it's just about, are we getting better right from December through January through February and into March? Are we getting better month by month? That's how I grade it. Yeah.
So you actually mentioned that schedule. You guys have a ton of tough opponents: Seton Hall, Pingree, Union, Scotch Plains. It's littered with good teams. What's your approach, towards game time, going into the game against those really, really skilled teams?
I think we've been doing it for years now. So since I'd say over the last 5-6 years, we've had those tough opponents on the schedule. So I don't think it's anything odd or different for our guys. I think they expect that. And really, it's about, for us this year, I think it's a lot about depth. We don't want to get worn down towards the end of the year. We have a big bench, the way I see it this year. We have a lot of guys that I think we're expecting big things from that haven't really played. And with the new team last year, these guys most of them are back, right, for their second year playing at this level. So we know what to expect. We know how hard practice can be, and the length of a season. It's the longest season we have in high school sports. So it's about, I think, positioning these guys to succeed down the stretch by not wearing them down and playing more guys. I think that's important.
So who's one specific player that stuck out to you last year as this guy made the most improvements, and what do you expect his role to be like with the team this year?
I think probably the guy that most people, and I'm included in this because I'm answering it, but I think Archie's a guy that last year didn't play as much as maybe he had hoped, and I think he learned a lot. And I think that's sometimes a hard process to stay on it every day, to improve, to get better, and maybe not get the minutes that you desire or you want, right? And so now the governor's off this year. He's going to play a lot. He's going to be orchestrating our offense. He had a really good summer for us. He's had a nice fall. He has developed, a lot of our guys have, but I think people are looking at Archie as a young leader of this team and a guy that really can control pace, tempo. And if you don't have a good point guard, you're not going to have a great team. And I'll always say that. It's the most important position on the floor in terms of, are you structured appropriately on offense? Can they lead? Can they be a second coach? And I think he's got the ability to do that, and he's improved a lot. So, we're going to find out pretty soon, but that's someone to keep an eye out on.
So a bit of a common trend with the seasons last year is losing steam in the second half. You guys have gone on a downtrend and tended to lose more games in the back end of the schedule. How do you plan to avoid that this year?
It's a great question. I'm sure you have better ones coming up too, but that's the best one you've asked so far. Because you're right, and I think the last 2 seasons, it has gone that way, right? Where we go on a pretty awesome run, and then the last 3 weeks, it seems like we don't have enough to sometimes get over the finish line. Part of it, I believe, is opponents that we schedule, and I think we had tired legs last year for sure. I think a guy like Max Cook, who played almost every minute, I think it's really hard to play that as hard as he did, as just one example, and to continue that playing 32 minutes a night, 3 to 4 games a week, and to play with that same energy and passion. We also had, we lost Connor Lee for a bit of time last year with an injury. We were a little banged up. We had some guys missing. So I think to me, it's number one about health, keeping guys healthy and on the floor, being available is super important. And then, like I told you earlier, I think structuring it so we have the ability to play more guys. We're going to play a little more up-tempo this year and faster than we have in years past. I think that lends itself to more frequent subs, and I think quicker, right? So if we have enough bodies, the schedule's not getting any easier. So we're going to have to stay healthy, and God willing we do, and we'll take it from there.
All right, so this next question, I think you might have predicted this is unavoidable. We have to talk about it. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. Brandon. Tore his ACL freshman year, sophomore year, same thing in the other leg. You got a stellar season out of him junior year.
Yeah.
And this year, you lose him again to that same ACL injury, ending his career essentially here as a Ram. How do you look to replace his production on the court, and how do you look as a team to say, hey, this is terrible, but we need to move on, we need to refocus?
Yeah, I mean, it's a loaded question, a tough question, and there's no playbook for how to even respond to a kid like that who's given so much of his time and his life to this school, right? Who deserves nothing but the best, and some bad, unfortunate things have happened, right? As a coach, you're always looking at next man up type of deal, right? Who's going to replace those minutes? My big thing was, are you okay? It's never okay, right? To have 3 surgeries in 4 years, but he's such an impressive kid, and he's going to rebound from this like he's done the last couple. Still going to be a really important part of our team, almost like a third or fourth coach out there for us. I think it will open the door for some other guys to play in spots that they maybe didn't think they would. It's you can't replace what he brought to us. It's almost impossible. I think the way he was playing too, headed into this year, was really impressive. So you can't replace that. You have to, for me, I have to find a way to manage the guys I have, right, and to help create a path for them to succeed in that type of role, right, which is the center, the 5-man.
Yeah.
So we're going to be a little smaller. That means we're going to probably shoot a few more threes, play a little faster. We don't really have a huge rim protector, but we're pretty big in the guard spot. So it will change some things, but the biggest thing to me is that he's still going to be a huge component and a big part of this team moving forward.
So what do you expect to see leadership-wise out of your senior captains, especially with this roster being loaded with seniors?
Yeah, I'm really excited to coach this group. They're really tight. They do a lot together. We've probably played, 20, 22 games since the end of last season throughout the summer and the fall. They do a lot off the court together. So I think already, like the younger guys, if you're a freshman, they're going to learn the right way from the seniors. We have a big list, right, of guys, but most of them are going to play, and they're going to play a lot. And last year was a total. No one had any experience besides Max Cook last year. So all these guys kind of got thrown into the fire. I thought we did perform pretty well with a 16-10 record. Now everybody's back for their second year. So guys like Connor, Ryan, MJ, Will, Eric is another guy that's going to be relied upon. They're all going to have to pull some weight, right? And I think they're going to be set up to do that. And big thing for me is that they stay connected and that they compete as hard as they can, push each other, and they enjoy their last year. It should be a great one. We have a lot of guys back with a lot of experience, and that's important.
And lastly, what's the biggest thing you personally as a coach want to improve on this year?
That's a good question. I think you're always looking to improve, right? So year by year, you kind of look at, what did I do last year? Where did I fall short? What do I think I did pretty well? My big thing this year, and I keep harping on it and saying it, I just think rotations is important, right? So I have a lot of guys that can play. My job is going to be to find the right rotations for whatever the unit is at the time, and balance that appropriately so we win basketball games. That will be my challenge, and it's hard to play 12, 14, 15 guys. That's usually not the case, but finding that 8 to maybe 10 that can do it, and so we can get better and better and better, and if we stay healthy with the same group that we're going in with, I think we could do a lot of really good things this year. So that will be my challenge, and it's going to start early in practice, like who can handle it, who's improving, who's getting better, who's hungry, who wants to play, and then me putting those guys in and giving them a defined role is super important. So that's my challenge.
Mr. Daugherty, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure. Good luck to the guys. You can catch every Oratory home game streamed right here on the Oratory Prep YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for watching.